Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2018 Silicon Harlem Conference. Rethink Everything. Everybody, welcome to the stage, MSNBC's Richard Louie.
How's everybody doing? It's fantastic to be back at Silicon Harlem because of the great energy here. And I see that because I fly back and forth from Silicon Valley about 30 times a year because my father lives out that way. And I go back to take care of him. So you can tell I brought a little bit of the we don't wear ties from Silicon Valley. Then I get here and you'll see the founders are all dressed to the nines. And a lot of you also look very good out for Silicon Harlem. This is, I think, my third year, and it's great to be here. We don't always get the opportunity to talk about technology in Manhattan over at MSNBC. We happen to be talking about some other topic. I don't know what it is, something like politics. But today we're not going to do any of that, I hope at least. Instead, we're going to be talking mostly about why technology is so important here in Harlem, Silicon Harlem. Year number 5, congratulations. Yeah. And in addition to it being year number 5, I really like the theme, Rethink Everything, and we are going to do that today. Now, I consider these two leaders in technology and in community to be my friend, although I don't know if they'd say the same thing about me. Clayton Barnes, co-founder and CEO of Silicon Harlem. He worked with folks like, you've heard the names before, MTV, ESPN, Budweiser, Essence Music Festival. He's worked with Prudential, United Technologies, I can go on and on, President Bill Clinton, HBO, Pepsi, Bloomberg TV, not quite as good as MSNBC, Showtime Networks. And because sometimes he's funny, he actually did some time at Comedy Central, if you know him. And what I know that he will still say today, I've heard him say it before when I was in his past, is although he may try to be funny, what isn't funny and when he gets serious is that, and I'll quote him just a little bit here, he says, this isn't about how great we can be, it's about what we believe our citizens deserve. And that is what he has done along with somebody who also is quite humorous himself, but also quite serious. Bruce Lincoln, the co-founder and CTO, also of Silicon Harlem. You might know some of his titles as well. Founder and CTO of Urban Cyberspace, Senior Fellow at Columbia University, a member of the Mayor's Broadband Advisory Task Force. Also served under the Clinton administration and an advisor to the White House. Was a member as well of the President's Information Technology Advisory Committee, and we could go on and on and on about these two folks, but let me welcome up these two amazing individuals. Warm welcome for the founders, Clayton Barnes and Bruce Lincoln.
Well, good morning, everyone.
You know you have a good friend when they get in this house for a gas man. Thank you, Richard Lee.
So we're going to be brief with our opening remarks, but we can't stress enough, one, how happy we are to see you all here in the audience. We know that Silicon Harlem is a community, and you're a part of that community, and we're glad you're here with us today where we can celebrate our 5th anniversary, right? How's that for sustainability? We started as a meetup February 26th of 2013. 500 people showed up for that meetup, and we've been able to sustain this movement, turn it into a consulting practice, turn it into a for-profit social venture, and today is the platform we're going to take this to the next level. We're glad you're all here with us. I'm here again with my co-founder and long-term partner, Clayton Banks. It is. And let me hand it off.
Thank you, Bruce. So I just wanted to say a couple of quick words as well. But first, let me say thank you. Thank you to every single person in this room. You know, so and we want you to always feel that and be active within that. Even though we are a for-profit social venture as described, at the end of the day, we love to make money, there's no question, but we also love our community. It turns out you can actually make money by doing the right thing. And so it's been important for us that folks like you in this room and the people that you know are connected to this. We're all interconnected when you think about it. The whole planet's interconnected. And when you think about that, you start to realize that there's much more in common that we have than differences. And so why this conference? Why this theme? Let me be quite clear. When we say rethink everything, we're not saying rethink everything. We're saying rethink everything. For example, the walls that are in this tremendous octagon room, and if you look up at the roof, it's also amazing. There's a whole history. I don't want you to miss this place that you're in. Take the time to look around. Look at all the sculptures. Look at all the walls. Look at all the different things that have been curated over 70 years. At one point, this was one of the most incredible collection of African art in the world. Do not miss where you are today. But the point I'm saying about everything, think about walls and ceilings and streets, these inanimate objects that become animate, with the idea of trying to help us in our lives. The ongoing, continuous amount of data that's being generated in the world. This is all having an impact on our lives, on our children's lives, and on our children's children's lives and beyond. So the key here for this type of conference is to ensure that we don't allow this next level of infrastructure, everyone being connected and everything being connected. We cannot allow for this next level of infrastructure to not be inclusive. In the past, and you'll hear about this through urban mobility and all the other sessions that we have, we've created divides around the world and certainly in our country, in our own city. This can be avoided by having this type of gathering where like minds can come together and start to figure out how infrastructure can be for equity. We no longer need to sit aside and wait for somebody else to design and deploy sort of the next generation technology. We all have to be at the same table. So that's why this has been so much of an important gathering for us, why this 5th year anniversary is so important to us, is because we know that this is a rare window when we all can add our voice to the next level of what I call World 4.0. No longer will somebody with a different ability have to fight to get access. No one who may be blind has to fight to get access and exposure. The next infrastructure should serve everyone. So it's so important to me that we really absorb this and hear from not only the experts that are here, and I want to thank the speakers. 50 speakers are here today. So we're excited about that. And I also want to make sure your voice is heard. So every session, we're going to try to make sure that we have enough time to get questions, to get conversation. It's really important to us. 2 quick housekeeping things. One is we had the unfortunate news late last night that with the pipe bombs that have been flowing around, that Tish James' schedule got completely rescheduled. So she's not able to make it. She is bringing representation, but it's just been a big scare for a lot of the Democrats that have in a position of being in danger. So that's been unfortunate, but she does regret, and she will be sending folks here. The other thing is we want to make sure that everyone understands that this, again, is not about just us telling you stuff. We need to hear from you. That's the most important thing, because some of us are sitting at the table with the mayor, or we're sitting at the table with the governor, or we're sitting at the table with our city council, or we're sitting at the table with a private sector company like the ones you've seen here. And we want to be able to represent what people are saying. If you say to me, you know, one of the biggest issues I have is there's too much noise in my neighborhood. You might think that's a trivial thing. You may think it doesn't have anything to relate to what we're doing, but it has everything to relate to what we're doing right now. We cannot talk about technology for technology's sake. We have to talk about technology and innovation in a way that is going to help our lives. Solve some problems. In New York, we hear often, and since probably most of us can remember that, oh, I saw a rat. Well, you can't. Hello? Anybody seen a rat before? I mean, you know, so we want to address issues like that. Actually, the private sector can probably solve that issue. So we need to figure out how private-public relationships can start to solve problems. And with the technology and innovation that we have access to right now, that can happen. So let me quickly thank also the wonderful sponsors that are here, that we would not be able to do this conference at the level that we're able to do it without their help, without their support. So let me go down the list that I have. If I miss anyone, you can blame it on Bruce. So first of all, you may have seen on the way in and some of your lanyards, T-Mobile has really stepped up in Harlem and has made a major commitment to ensure that there's fair access to their services, and they've just been tremendous partners to us, and I just want to thank them wherever they are, whoever's in the room. T-Mobile, right on. We want to thank Microsoft. This is their 5th year supporting our conference. They've been very aggressive in ensuring that Harlem is not left out. Some of you know we spend a lot of time on digital literacy and teach kids every year, actually from preschool to senior citizens. And Microsoft's always been supportive of that, providing us with equipment and software, and they always are here at the conference. I want to acknowledge Spectrum, who we may be making some announcements later on today, but Spectrum has really stepped up in Harlem. They're about to open a store on 125th Street. We can't be more happy to see that kind of commitment into the community. And I want to thank specifically Ben Toper and the government affairs folks for being so supportive of what we're doing. We want to thank Chase Bank. Chase has been really committed to Harlem. If you walk through Harlem, there's a lot of banks, but if you get above 135th Street, there is no other bank but Chase. And you might find that weird, but it's true. We want to see more people up there. There's a few more up there, but Chase was first. And I want to thank Google Cloud. Google Cloud software-defined services and all types of great things that they're doing. They actually came in and said, let us do the food. So if you had breakfast this morning and when you have lunch this afternoon, make sure you thank Tej, who's in the program. Tej is the guy. Thank you, Google Cloud. Awesome. I mean, where do you go and get sausage and bacon in the morning, right? So I want to thank Manhattan Mini Storage. They've been a great sponsor for us as well this year. LDI printed all the signs that you've seen around here. So LDI is here. I want to thank them. Fiduciary Trust International, a dear friend of mine, I call him Big. His name is David Bigelow. Really pushed his company to get behind this conference, so make sure you find him and talk to him. He probably can put some money in your pocket. I'm sorry, Bigelow. I didn't mean to say that. So also a 5-year sponsor is West Harlem Development Corporation. Kofi Annan and his team. We're very grateful for their work, but also we partnered with them this past summer and taught 120 kids from freshmen to seniors in high school about computational thinking. And so we had a great turnout for that. It was grueling, but we loved it. DG, which is Daly Gonzalez, the great agency that supports many companies, including Lyft, and they are here, and we want to thank them. Obviously, as I mentioned, the National Black Theater here. If you don't do anything else, make sure you look around this place because you can miss a lot of things. Look up in the sky, you can actually see an octagon roof. There's a reason for all of that. There's a reason that I can't explain, but there's a reason. And finally, I want to thank Currency Shift, or is it Currency Shift? Yeah, Currency Shift, who is promoting and producing the after party. So when we get our boogie, listen, I didn't put this jacket on for nothing, all right? We're going to boogie on down later on. And Maritri is going to perform at the end of the last panel. Maritri is a world-renowned guitarist and pianist who will be bringing us some great music later on today. So I just wanted to make those thanks. I also want to thank the National Black Theater in general and all the crew. I want to thank the volunteers for Silicon. I hope you guys had an easy, sort of smooth coming in for the registration and all that kind of good stuff, and people were greeting you, and hopefully all that worked out. And I want to thank, of course, my staff, the team of Silicon Harlem that have basically just worked 24 hours while I was able to go to sleep. So I was just amazed at the work that they did to transform this facility into a Silicon Harlem facility. So thanks, everyone. I think that's all my housekeeping stuff. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Louis, who will come up and do his thing.
All right. Thank you so much for what you've done, both Bruce and Clayton. This will be my final year here at Silicon Harlem, evidently. No, but thank you so much. Always inspiring what you've done here, not only in Harlem, but across Manhattan, as well as nationally. Up next, and as Clayton and Bruce were intimating, there's a lot of folks here today to welcome all of us because of the importance of the conversations that will be happening today. And I'd like to first up welcome Gail Brewer, the president of Manhattan